the heartbeat of heaven, the Eucharistic miracle of Buenos Aires. The question that shook a city: what if the host you receive at Mass, that small, white, fragile piece of bread, truly became the beating heart of Jesus Christ? Not just spiritually, physically. This is not a legend from centuries past. It happened less than 30 years ago in one of the busiest cities in the world, Buenos Aires, Argentina. And science, yes, modern science, confirmed the impossible. This is the story of the Eucharistic miracle of Buenos Aires, a story that changed the faith of thousands and still whispers to our hearts today. I am with you. I am alive. It was a cold night in August 1996. A parishioner at Santa Maria y Caballito Almagro Church noticed something unusual after evening Mass. Someone had left a consecrated host on a candle stand at the back of the church. Following the church's guidelines, the priest, Father Alejandro Bessette, placed it in a small container of water and left it in the tabernacle, expecting it to dissolve within days. But when he opened the tabernacle a week later, he froze. The host had not dissolved. Instead, it had transformed, visibly, disturbingly, into what appeared to be a piece of bloody flesh. Unsure of what to do, Father Bessette called his archbishop at the time, Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio, who would later become Pope Francis. Cardinal Bergoglio instructed that the host be photographed and carefully preserved. The photos showed a fragment of flesh, red and alive, almost pulsating. Years passed. The fragment remained unchanged. No decay, no mold, no explanation. In 1999, Cardinal Bergoglio quietly approved a scientific study to uncover the truth. The samples were sent, under complete anonymity, to Dr. Frederick Zugibe, a world-renowned cardiologist and forensic expert in New York. He was told only that the samples came from a piece of human tissue found under unknown circumstances. What he discovered would leave even the most skeptical scientist silent. The scientific findings, the heart that would not die. Dr. Zugibe's team ran multiple tests. Here's what they found. The sample was human tissue, not animal, not synthetic. It came from the left ventricle of the human heart, specifically the area responsible for pumping blood to the entire body. The tissue showed severe inflammation, as if the person had been beaten or tortured. Even more astonishing, the cells were still alive, metabolically active, though the sample had been kept without preservatives for years. The scientist, unaware of its sacred origin, concluded, "This heart belonged to a man who suffered greatly. The tissue is alive, as if it were still beating." When the truth was revealed, that this tissue came from a consecrated host, the scientific team was stunned. Dr. Zugibe, not a Catholic himself, said softly, "If this came from a consecrated host, then science has no explanation." To this day, the fragment remains preserved, still showing no decay after nearly 3 decades. So what does this mean for us? We often say, Jesus is present in the Eucharist. We repeat the words, we genuflect, we receive him. But sometimes, if we're honest, we forget. We treat Holy Communion as routine, as symbol, as ritual. And yet, this miracle is heaven shouting into our disbelief. I am real. I am here, and my heart still beats for you. It's as if Jesus saw our restless modern world, so scientific, so skeptical, so distracted, and decided to meet us on our own terms. Not through visions or voices, but through the very thing science trusts most, evidence. Think about that. The tissue was from the heart. the very center of love. The cells were still alive, because divine love never dies. And the blood type? AB, the same as found on the Shroud of Turin, the Sudarium of Oviedo, and other Eucharistic miracles across history. Coincidence, or a divine fingerprint? This miracle isn't meant to prove God, it's meant to invite us. To bring our heads and hearts back to the altar, back to belief, back to love. A personal mirror, when faith grows cold. Maybe you've felt it, that quiet doubt that slips into your prayer life. You go to Mass, you say the responses, but something feels distant, mechanical. You wonder, is he really here? Does this still matter? This miracle speaks directly into that emptiness. It says, even when your love grows cold, mine does not. Even when you walk away, my heart keeps beating for you. Cardinal Bergoglio, now Pope Francis, once reflected on this miracle, saying that it's not meant to amaze us, but to move us. God shows himself not in grand gestures, but in his quiet persistence to stay near his children. That's what the Eucharist is, God refusing to leave. Theological depth, love made tangible. In every Mass, when the priest says, "This is my body, this is my blood," those words echo across centuries through this very miracle. The same Christ who multiplied loaves in Galilee, who walked on water, who rose from the tomb, becomes present again and again in your hands, not symbolically, not metaphorically, but really, truly, wholly. And it's not just about the real presence, it's about real love. A love that bleeds, endures, and refuses to die. A love that says, I don't want to remain far away in heaven. I want to stay in your tabernacles, your parishes, your hands. If the heart of Christ truly beats in the Eucharist, then every time you approach communion, heaven itself leans closer. You are receiving not a relic, not a ritual, but a living relationship. So tonight, as you finish this story, take a moment. Picture that small host, pale, silent, resting on the priest's hand. Now imagine that beneath its surface, the living heart of God still beats. For you, for your wounds, for your unbelief. Let that truth sink in. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. The same heart that throbbed in agony on Calvary still beats in the Eucharist. Quietly, faithfully, waiting for yours to respond. Miracles are not proof for the mind. They are invitations for the heart. So when you next kneel before the tabernacle, don't rush. Whisper simply, Lord Jesus, if you are truly here, help me to love you more. And in that whisper, you will feel it, the faint rhythm of heaven, the heartbeat of a God who refuses to stop loving. The heart of Christ still beats among us. Listen, and let your faith beat again.